All right, let's bring you this conversation now. The Department of Water and Sanitation has filed 67 criminal cases against municipalities that have not complied with the National Environmental Act. The cases against these municipalities, mostly in Mpumalanga, Gauteng, Northwest and in Limpopo, are all in relation to sewage pollution in waterways due to failed wastewater treatment works. Let's unpack this story further. We're joined by the department's Chief Director for Water Use, Compliance and Enforcement, Anet Muir. It's great to talk to you. And this is different, isn't it, Anet, to what the power utilities have been doing, which is going after municipalities for unpaid bills. This is all about compliance.
I think there is also an element, well, the cases we've got here is not for non-payment, but obviously the department also struggles with non-payment of its water revenue, specifically to our water boards. But the cases referred to is for compliance or for pollution incidents, yes.
Okay, so tell us more about, so there are 67 criminal or rather court cases against these municipalities. And I imagine this was after a number of steps had been taken to first alert them to the fact that there is a problem.
All right, just to correct, it's not 67 court cases, it's criminal investigations that we've got. And then some of them are in court, but the majority of them are still live investigations that we are conducting under the National Water Act.
Okay,
but there is steps that we've taken. Yeah. Obviously, when we pick up a transgression, we issue a notice. It's a notice of intent that indicates we have detected a non-compliance. We give them an opportunity to provide us with representation in terms of administrative justice to hear the other party, obviously. And then if they fail to respond or they fail to provide us with corrective action plans, then we proceed to a directive. That also gives them instructions on what to do to rectify the measures, and if they fail to do that, unfortunately leaves us no other processes but to go to court. It is an offence in terms of the National Water Act to not adhere to a directive that has been issued.
I see.
So the most of the cases here is for those type of transgressions.
Right. I've been reading up about this issue just to prepare for our chat, and part of what water experts are saying is that while this is a good move by the department, there also is just a need for us to take stock of where we are at insofar as our infrastructure is concerned. Certainly.
One of the aspects that the Green Drop report that we do an annual, or every second year we do a full assessment of our municipal infrastructure for wastewater, and it includes conditional assessments of the infrastructure. And certainly where municipalities are failing to operate and maintain their works or their infrastructure, pump stations, pipelines, everything incorrectly, it does lead to a deterioration of the infrastructure, the ability to treat, and then also leads to the discharge of non-compliant wastewater.
Right. What's the way out here, Anet? Some of these cases, as you say, are in court. But what can municipalities do? And I suppose if they fail to take the requisite action, what happens then? What is the sanction?
Well, we saw for Governor Mbeki, there was a plea and sentence agreement, most recent case, 200 million rand fine. And obviously that fine gets paid by taxpayers. So the fine, it has to be applied for the infrastructure itself and has to be plowed back into the municipality to upgrade, or not upgrade, refurbish the works that it can perform the function that it does. It's not sustainable that we have to go through this whole process to get to criminal convictions. In the end, it doesn't fix the infrastructure. It just provides accountability for the municipal manager and for the council. But in the end, what we want is municipalities that are capable of doing the work that they are assigned to do. So through our assessments for the Green Drop and also for the drinking water systems, we realize that some of our municipalities are simply not having the right people or the willpower to actually put in the right systems to treat water. So we're putting legislative reform in place for licensing of water services providers that ensures that the right people are appointed in these important positions, that they are able to appropriately treat our drinking water as well as treat our wastewater before it's discharged into our rivers.
Yeah, and the issue around our water infrastructure, our wastewater treatment plants, It's not just water-related, is it, Anet? I mean, there are so many other issues that feed into the challenges that we have with water provision in our country. One of them, for example, is perhaps homes being built over water infrastructure. Again, what we talked about earlier, the issue of aging infrastructure. There are various other competencies that feed into what we're experiencing in our water network.
Yeah, for sure. I think we have a national grid for electricity. Unfortunately, we don't have that for water. It's very complex to manage the water infrastructure to get it to your taps. For sewage specifically, we've seen a lot of problems where people complain about sewer spills, but then when you do investigations, you realize that the house has been built on top of a main sewer line, and obviously the weight of that house has led to that burst. And then you have a vast amount of problems to relocate those people or to have the houses demolished. It does become a huge challenge. Also, obviously, the planning aspects of our municipalities have not kept up with the reality of township developments. They are permitting township developments to occur without taking into account that, hey, we actually have to provide more water, or we have to deal with a greater waste load going into our works.
Yeah.
So lots of our infrastructure is hydraulically overloaded.
Yeah, and there's just a lot of pressure there that was never budgeted for. Anet, let me thank you for your time this afternoon. Anet Muir is the Chief Director for Water Use Compliance and Enforcement. The department has filed 67 criminal cases against municipalities that have not complied with the National Environmental